Yeah, do. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. I'd like to make some brief comments on some of the reports we heard from the various teams in one or two areas. Mainly, let's look at funding. I think, we've had a problem with funding. It's been a problem that has been very rough for a considerable period of time. A number of us have, in the past, had to dip into our pockets to pay for activities, and this cannot continue, undoubtedly. So we need to raise funds. I mean, there is a team that is looking at a strategy for fundraising. A meeting has been arranged, as far as I know, and this should take place fairly soon. But then ordinary members too should sometimes dip in their pockets out of generosity, if you like, but out of the need to raise funds. It's a very difficult one. I recall we've had meetings in London where one or two people have paid for the hall for a considerable period of time. Now, that cannot continue. Now, this very hall has been prepaid by two people, after which then a refund was made. Now, the food we ate this evening, partly the generosity of the family of Jaune, but also two persons had also had to fork out money to buy the food. Half of it hasn't been sold. So these are some of the issues that's important to bring to people's attention. Now, meetings, we do have meetings. When we have meetings, sometimes it's poorly attended. This is not bad, but it could have been better, could have been bigger than this. I'm pretty sure of that. We have members around here, we have members in London, we have members in Nottingham, some of whom are not here. So it's important that attendance at meetings also shows determination, it shows an interest, and I think we should highlight that as well and make sure we remember these things when we leave the hall to attend meetings and to fork out from our pockets to help finance the organization. Thank you.
Right. We now give the floor to where it belongs, the general body. You have heard our reports, so we are now open. I think I saw your hand.
Yeah.
The ground rule number 2 is that you come forward, announce your name, and then speak.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Suleiman Jeng, editor of Kibaro newspaper. But I'm here on my own because my boss is here. I cannot represent Kibaro when he's around. I've listened to Bahum talk about communication, and then I've listened to other members mentioning about finance. If finance is the nerve of a society, communication would be the life of it. Because you cannot raise finance if you are not known. You can only gain finance if you are known, and you can only be known if you publicize yourself. At the beginning, I was a little bit disheartened when it was mentioned that the recording should not be publicized, because like you said, if I can borrow your terms, we are kind of chasing shadows. If we have to be realistic, we have to be outspoken, we have to be bold, we have to be very blunt. You cannot fight injustice by compromising justice. If you want to fight injustice and succeed, you have to tackle it head on. If you are afraid to be seen of men, don't be of men. You can only be of men if you want to be seen of men. So for us to fight Gambia and we don't want him to see us fight him, we will never succeed. And then this organization cannot go anywhere, frankly speaking, if it is not known, and it can only be known if it is well publicized. We need publicity, is not only by the word of mouth. You need to show it by showing pictures, by movies, by talking to people, by sending out pamphlet like John did, which is quite essential. I interviewed Joe when we had the demonstration in London, and one of the issues I raised is like utilize the media. You've got all of the Gambian diaspora media now have radios. If they don't invite you, go and meet them, tell them, look, can I have half an hour of your radio time? At least we can clear ourselves, or we can explain about our organization. Because even with me being writing in the press, I never knew the organization had a website. So if you don't tell people, they would not know. So you have to publicize yourself. Obama, I told you, won the election not because he was an orator. he won elections because he has utilized electronic, that is the media, Facebook, Twitter, text messages, emails. So when you walk on sand, you leave footprints. So any website that you visit, you leave your footprints there. You pop in and pop out, you have left your fingerprints. So those who are manning the website can retrieve those things and then get access to those people. Sometimes you get random text messages. You sit and wonder, where does this person get my number? Because you can create things and just send it. That's how you can get people. Send random text messages, send emails, write on Facebook. You can get people, invite them. Because sometimes if they know you are political, they will not accept you, but just invite them as any ordinary individual. The next minute, send them these things, they will be forced to read it. Those of them who develop interest will come back to you. Those who are not interested will not come back to you. But that is how you can get things. It's a global world, very small. So if you don't use it, you would not be known. We can meet and talk about funds and funds and funds. They would never be there, frankly speaking. You must be known first before you can make the funds.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, inside. To be fair to the communication team, I'm on Twitter, and I went on campaign CDCG the Pride. I think it was about 3 members following the team, which is disappointing. When I go to meetings, I see many people. I went on the internet to look for CDCG on Twitter, and there were like few people following it. And the more you follow on Twitter, if you have more followers, people tend to look at that page more than someone who just have like 2 or 3 members. No one's going to take it seriously. I think it's fair to them. The page is there. It's left to us to go and follow it. If you follow it and recommend it to other people, people might follow it too. That's what I just want to say.
Nice one.
My name is Lamin Fati. First of all, I would like to seize this opportunity. Fati. Yeah, I want to seize this opportunity to thank the members of the executive and the co-opted members who have been supporting the team heads for enabling us to come to this level today. I was part of the first day when this organization was born, and I can see that great improvement has been taken, as a result of the sacrifice of the few. My words to you is keep up the momentum. Those of us who are coming in, we are aware of your role, we are aware of the selfless service you are giving, and over time, it is not easy to get everybody on board. The efforts that you made that entice this gathering to be this level, in time to come, it will be more than that, as long as you continue on. And my next point is in regards to the funding, which has been outlined by so many speakers. Now is the time to call a spade a spade. This struggle has been going on for so long. I think my voice is loud enough to go here. This struggle has been going on for so long, and the pace is worth to be commended. But again, we have to recognize that more needs to be done. And to do more, you have to reflect. What are the shortcomings that makes us to come to a pace that brings us to the level where we are supposed to be even much further than? The funding, the fact that executive members are digging in their own pocket, yet they are doing their tax or their responsibilities voluntarily, it is not sustainable and it is not realistic. To do something that is realistic and sustainable, whereby all can see, it is better you come to terms as to what should be done before we get to a stage whereby even the little gains that take us to this level might end up being derailed, because many people are going to resign or take more and more excuses. So for this reason, I want to come up with solution, not prescription, but rather the right medicine. In my mind, so in my opinion, since the few people who are committed to this campaign, they are able to take their little money to carry out the individual tax that are given to them. Instead of them taking that during the time of the carrying out that tax, those of us who are present here, we must tax each other. Even £5 before next meeting, say next 2 months, we have a focal person whom to contact. That focal person contact every member that is present here today to collect £5 from all of us. By next meeting, we'll have a small token of money that will allow us to carry out a specific activity without on the burden of any of the executive member, and the person will be able to do it effectively. Self-reliance starts with self. For an organization to succeed, before people come in to give you a hand, they must see your own individual effort. They must see your strength, the strength of your effort. And the strength of our effort today relies on what? Our contribution. After our contribution is to reach out. We must not depend on outsiders. The danger for depending on people is they can dictate and they can influence your decision. We must make sure that we do things differently. How do we do things differently? Let us try to be value-driven and policy-driven. Because so many organizations are formed against a common enemy. We all know the problem. The problem is there for all to see. But the way we approach it, that is the biggest challenge confronting this organization. So we must start to do things differently so that those people who are around, who have been existing for long, they will start to take another sharp look at this organization. And by that way, we will be able to minimize the constraints of finance. The second thing is the spending aspect. When you are growing up as an organization, you don't need to be too over-ambitious. Because if you are too over-ambitious, the tendency is that you are either short-lived or you are disconnected from your vision. So we have to take it slowly, but certainly we'll get there. And that is the most important thing. We give assurance to each other, and that assurance we make sure that it is seen by all those who are within and outside. Because say, when we have our next meeting, even we are able to achieve only one objective of CDC, but if that is attained through the limited resources without on the body of anyone, anybody who is genuine and interested for the cause of restoring democracy in the Gambia will certainly come to join this organization. So that's the true advice I have.
Yes.
I'm okay, thank you very much. Yes. My name is Omar Jane. I have, I suppose, been a silent observer of events in the Gambia. And I suppose I would say over the last 4 or 5 months, I've been somewhat of an active observer of events in the Gambia. By that I mean I go to the websites and I read events that are happening back home, which affect everybody back home. It affects every aspect of a Gambian's life, whether you are there or not, and even friends of the Gambia. It affects their lives. Now, I don't think all of those things that are happening there, we need to tell each other. We don't need to reiterate them. Many people have said it and we know about them. But I think we need to try and refocus and clarify our ideas more. Now, I'm not saying that our ideas are not clear to us, but in terms of putting them on paper and in writing and ensuring that these ideas are thoroughly clear to the readership, to the people who read these things, is exceptionally important. Now, I've been reading